I would like to take some time right now to invite Mayor Wu to give some remarks. If you like, I can hold baby Mayor. It's been a while. My kids are bigger now.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Congratulations. 10 years is absolutely incredible, and it is an honor to be with all of you. Thank you, Antoinette, for always showing up for the community and pitching in. I don't know if you even remember this, but years and years ago, it must have been my younger son, one of my other sons, was probably this age or a little younger, and I had to go in for an interview on something at CVB, and right before, he spit up all over what I was wearing. And so I'm there for the interview, and then someone just grabbed something from your closet there, putting on your dress to do the interview. And it felt so just exciting and affirming also in that moment to know that someone who looked like me and who was there blazing the trail was there. So whether or not you knew, you were lending a dress to the next one up. Thank you for all that you do. And thank you to each and every one of you. I was just telling Celia that I was searching in my email because I remember the very first event. And 10 years ago it was in Worcester when it first launched, and then in Boston and Springfield, and MAWOCC has been spreading across the Commonwealth, but also deepening in each community that you serve and all around our neighborhoods and our communities. Thank you for what you do to make sure that the government that we have, the boards and commissions, the next generation of leadership that we're nurturing knows the power of community, knows the power of our individual voices, and has role models and supports and those who are willing to be the wind beneath their wings in every possible way. We're trying to do everything that we can in the city of Boston to match and to support that leadership. I'm honored every day to work alongside our City Council President, Madam President Ruthzee Louijeune. Thank you for all that you do for the city. Ruthzee and I have already had an exciting day together. It's been a fun day across the city of Boston. We were there first thing in the morning at the El Mundo Hispanic Heritage Breakfast to start the day, and then there was the BECMA Mass Black Expo that was hosted. Later this evening, there's the Asian Community Fund annual event as well. So the organizations that we are celebrating in Boston, the communities that we're able to help knit together, really are building infrastructure in ways that have huge ripple effects. So thank you from the entire city of Boston. Through our Office of Women's Advancement, led by the amazing Dana Alice, through our Maria Angelisa Rivera and her whole cabinet focused on equity and inclusion, and in every way possible, we're trying to make sure that we are providing the opportunities for the next Mayor Rivera, the next mayor and commissioner and city council president, and every role that is possible. So to all of the founders, especially, to all those who have paved the way in our communities when it was, when breaking that glass ceiling or breaking through that barrier meant that you carry those scars and bruises for the next generation to have, and the next one up after you to have a little bit easier time and a little bit easier time. Thank you for all that you do, and we see you. We are so grateful, and no matter what is happening in other levels of government, and I mean this horrific federal administration that is tearing apart what we are, our progress that we are trying to make as a country. In Boston, in Massachusetts, we are going to keep moving forward. Yes. So thank you for all that you do. Congratulations on 10 years, and thank you for opening so many doors for so many. Thank you.
And I just have to say, Mayor Wu, the feeling is mutual, seeing another woman, an Asian American woman, other women of color in positions like yours, the mayor of this wonderful city of Boston. It really means a lot, seeing people who look like you, especially when you're a little girl who doesn't see a lot of people in powerful positions when you're growing up who look like me. So it really means a lot, and I don't take it for granted when I hear people say, people like us are making a difference for young Asian American females. Okay, let me find my place here. Your girl needs to wear her glasses. I try so hard to get by without them when there's no teleprompter around. But right now, we would next like to introduce Madam President Ruthzee Louijeune from the Boston City Council with some remarks.
Thank you so much, Antoinette. You said my name perfectly, which never happens. So somebody, did their homework. I would have to tell people it's Louis like Louis Vuitton bag, Jen like your friend Jen. That's the last name, but you got it. And so I am so happy that I could be with MAWOCC today for this 10th anniversary. This is beautiful. Clap it up for yourselves. So I'm Louijeune, President of the City Council, Ally City Council, and I'm here. I'm going to just keep it 100. I am here because I do whatever Charlotte Golar-Ritchie tells me to do. Right? And so I know, I will never forget, she does not love when I tell this story, but I'm going to tell it because it's important to the work of MAWOCC, how we're supporting each other to make sure that we are getting in the right places and that we are prepared for these roles and these positions. I remember when I called Charlotte, right? And her family and my family go way back. My father loves her. My sister is best friends with her daughter. I called Charlotte and I was like, Charlotte, I think I'm gonna run for office. And she was like, why? And for 45 minutes, she asked me the hardest questions. And I was like, man, do I wanna do this? But it was all preparation. And it was probably the best phone call that I had. Because as a black woman who was in office, she knows the challenges. And she knows the question that she needed to ask me to prepare me, to help me put on the armor for the battles that were to come. And so I just do whatever Charlotte tells me to do. She's like, answer your email, come to this event. I was like, I'm going to be here. And I want to thank Gail, because Gail, I think you were the first person to talk to me about MAWOCC and the work of MAWOCC. And so I'm just so happy that I could join with you all today as you do the work of making sure that women of color across the Commonwealth are seen and prepared and are in these positions of power. My Shiro, Shirley Chisholm, says if they don't have a seat for you, you bring a folding chair. And I believe that is what we are required to do as women of color. This country, this Commonwealth was not created for our success. And so we have to be the ones building our own social capital, building our own network so that we can succeed when it comes to health and wellness, when it comes to creating wealth, when it comes to building power. And so I want to thank MAWOCC for all of the work that you do. I came with a citation just to recognizing the 10 years. So I don't know if Celia, if you want to come, or the board wants to come to accept this citation on behalf of the Boston City Council. All the work that you are doing to uplift women of color in our Commonwealth and in our city. And of course, I'm going to ask, of course, the mayor to also be up here. And Charlotte.
Oops. Oh, sorry.
So this is an official resolution presented by Boston City Council President Ruthzee Louijeune. Be it resolved that the Boston City Council extends its congratulations to the Massachusetts Women of Color Coalition in recognition of celebrating your 10th anniversary, a decade of impact and resilience, and your steadfast commitment to fighting racial inequities impacting women of color. Your efforts to break down barriers and uplift women of color are not only vital, but also create lasting change for our communities across Massachusetts. Congratulations.
Go. All right, let's go.
Mayor again for being here and taking the time out of her busy schedule. Let's give her a round of applause. And also Madam President Ruthzee and Louijeune. Thank you so much both for being here. So many inspiring words tonight. And we're very grateful for all of you here tonight supporting the continued partnership in advancing MAWOCC's mission. It is now my pleasure to introduce Gail Jackson-Blount, a member of MAWOCC's Board of Directors and the Vice President of the MAWOCC Eastern Region, who will officially kick off our big weekend and provide an overview of all the exciting details of what is in store to come.
Good evening, everyone. I am so honored to be here celebrating MAWOCC's 10th anniversary. Tonight, we come together to honor a decade of extraordinary leadership, community impact, and unwavering commitment to empowering women across all sectors. This weekend is packed with engaging events from panels and workshops to networking opportunities and celebrations that highlight our achievements. Each event is designed to foster connections, spark new ideas, and recognize the trailblazers who make a difference every day. We're starting with tonight's reception, our legislative breakfast tomorrow morning, and our black tie gala tomorrow evening. We hope you take full advantage of this weekend to connect, celebrate, and be inspired by one another. Here's to a weekend of meaningful dialogue, camaraderie, and celebration. Thank you.
Oh, that's weird.
Okay, Gail, thank you so much. That was fantastic. We look forward to a very, very exciting weekend. Of course, things are already kicking off in great fashion tonight. Who is ready for the events to really begin and for tomorrow night's gala? Now it's my pleasure to welcome Evelyn Toney, who is MAWOCC's Board of Director and event co-chair of the Gala Weekend, who will speak on behalf of the host, honorary, and planning committee.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Let me gather my notes. I forgot my glasses. You guys want to take pictures of me? Okay, well, there we go. Oh, this is perfect. So good evening, everyone. Sadly, I can't see behind this, but I can see what I'm talking about here. On behalf of the host and honorary committees, I want to welcome all of you. It's been an incredible journey planning this milestone celebration, and we are excited to see everyone come together tonight.
1 second.
1 second, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I see Gail's notes. Oh, geez, okay. This had to be me. You know what? I have. Okay. Start over again. Good evening. Our committee has worked very hard to create this beautiful weekend. This weekend reflects the spirit of MAWOCC's connection, empowerment, and celebration. We hope that you all meet old friends, make new connections, and engage with events this weekend. I hope you feel inspired by the amazing community we built together. Thank you for being a part of this special moment, and let's make this weekend to remember. Thank you.
Hey, listen, us ladies, we gotta look out for each other, right? Okay. I'd like to welcome Gail back really quick.
Hello again.
Yes.
I just realized that we have not said hello and acknowledged a very special woman here tonight. For those of you who have yet not had the pleasure of meeting Celia Blue, Celia Johnston-Blue is the president and CEO of MAWOCC, and I'd like for her to at least come up and say, just to say, to a wave in person.
Hey!
From her later throughout the weekend.
That was fantastic. Okay, coming up next, see, now that, thank goodness for the iPhones. I know it's also with the iPhone, everyone. It is my honor now to introduce Mayor Maria Rivera of Central Falls, Rhode Island. Thanks for making the trek up to Boston.
Sounds like we're having a moment of silence for a minute. Good evening. What an honor to be here. Thank you so much for allowing me this space. It feels so great to be in a room with a lot of women of color. And there are some men here. I want to thank you for supporting us too. But I feel like I'm in a safe place with everything happening in our nation. So thank you for having me here. It's super important for me to be in this space.
Yes.
A lot because it hasn't been easy for me to be in this position. I want to start by acknowledging Mayor, who I think she left, the City Council President Ruthzee, the President Celia Johnston-Blue, who we worked together before, the whole board. I want to thank MAWOCC for inviting me today, but more importantly, congratulate you for your 10 years of impact, leadership, and empowerment to our own women of color that continue to get overseen. And if it wasn't because of organizations like this one, we would not be in this room tonight. So thank you for the work that you're doing and that you continue to do. I'm just going to talk a little bit about myself. I am the first Latina mayor in the state of Rhode Island, the first female mayor. Currently, still the only one, which has been very hard. You know, when I won, people were so excited because we finally have a woman of color, the only woman of color in the state of Rhode Island, but people didn't understand what that meant for me. It meant that I had to work so much harder to prove myself to people, and for people to believe that I belonged in that position.
Yes.
And that I had to be in that position to do the changes and have an impact to the community. So it was really hard. I just ran for my second term. I ran unopposed, and that is a testament of the work that's happening with I came into office in the middle of the pandemic, which was not easy, but we've been able to do so much. And I have to tell you that one of the biggest challenges for me when I came into office, you know, I thought I'm the mayor of the city, I'm gonna make all these changes, because men do it all the time, right? You come in with your team, you bring your own people. I bring in a new police chief. I bring in the only black chief in the state of Rhode Island, but also the only chief who has a PhD. Which I thought was a great thing with everything happening, because, you know, George Floyd was murdered at the time, Breonna Taylor, there was a lot of things happening with police and the community. And for me, it was really important to make sure I had someone in that position that I could trust, and that was going to continue respecting the community, but at the same time, that the community understood what it meant to have a police department that was going to be there to protect them. So community policing. I promoted him from sergeant to colonel, and I brought him from another community, and this is why people were not happy. The whole police department was pissed off at me. I had the union president and vice president come and meet with me with their attorney. I had no idea what I was doing. I was freaking out. But I just listened to them. And I said to them, give me 6 months. And in 6 months, you're going to tell me if he is the person for this department, or if we have to hire someone else, and you will help me hire someone else. And in 6 months, the vice president of the union pulled me inside of an event and said, Mayor, I want to thank you for that decision, because this is what this department needs. We now have the lowest overall crime rate the city has had since 1989. I have a police department that is being recognized at a national level because of community policing. So we have completely transitioned what community policing is in the city of Central Falls. We went from having 4 officers who were part of community policing to now having the whole department, including the colonel. Because everybody who works in the police department needs to be part of community policing. That is what has helped us bring down the crime rate in the city of Central Falls. When I came in with 3 priorities. Besides the work that we had to do with the police, I made a commitment of bringing more safe, affordable housing into the city. We have over 200 units being built. The city hasn't had a community center for over 14 years. I raised $14 million to have a new community center. The purpose of this community center is to address all of the needs that have increased through the pandemic, starting with mental health. So the first floor is to have all the social services, second floor is for the youth, third floor is for senior services. And to give you a little bit more context, Central Falls has a $20 million budget. I've been able to bring in over $200 million. And the last thing is the education. Our schools have been in state control for over 34 years. And to me, we will continue being the poorest Black and brown community if we don't focus on education. It's super important for me as the mayor of the city. I feel a responsibility, and I feel like we're failing our kids if we do not focus on education. So I am in the process of getting over control of our schools back. I was able to get $144 million to build a brand new high school. And because we have the oldest high school in the state, so we should have the ribbon cutting for the new high school by February of next year. And I just received some funding to build a brand new pre-K with dual language. So I will have the second dual language school in the state of Rhode Island. So there's a lot happening. I am term limited, but people are not happy. So we're trying to figure out how I can stay for another 4 years. Has this been easy? Absolutely not. At one point, I lost my voice. My mental health was all over the place. And we know that in our culture, nobody talks to us about getting therapy. I had to hire a coach. I had to get a physical therapist. I had to get a vocal coach. There was a lot I had to do because imposter syndrome is real. Being the only woman in a room filled with men is not easy.
Yes.
But I know I had to stay focused on the work that I'm doing. And people are seeing the results of the work and why I belong in that position and why we need more women in leadership positions like this one. Yes. My advice to all of you is to lean on each other. Can I tell you what one of my biggest challenges is? That I felt that I didn't have the support of other Latina elected officials in the state of Rhode Island. Because I was the only mayor. We have other Latina elected officials in other positions and other women of color. But I felt that I didn't have their support while they saw me that I was drowning. Lean on each other. Sometimes just having a conversation is all that matters. Sometimes someone just listen to them. That'll make a difference. And then I just want to say thank you so much for the opportunity, but I do want to give a shout out to Celia Johnson-Blue, who I worked with, and Yvette Mendez, and Sulma, who I worked with at the Department of Human Services. I worked at the Department of Human Services for 16 years, and I left because I was never going to get an opportunity to move up. Because I was a woman of color. But when they needed me to solve something, I was the one fixing the problem. So I had to leave the Department of Human Services, but I appreciate all the support that I received from my friends here at the Department of Human Services. Thank you again for having me. There's a lot more that we can talk about, but I only have like 6 minutes. Just having conversations and see how we can support you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oops, sorry.
One more huge round of applause for everyone. So many moments, even though we're not in jobs like hers, we can all relate to those moments, right? As women of color, people who've been isolated and felt that imposter syndrome when we shouldn't. We know we are qualified for our jobs. We know we're in them for a reason. We know we're in positions of power for a reason. So organizations like this are changing those feelings one by one, each one of you here. So before we wrap up this evening, I would like to introduce my good friend and fellow Filipina family member, Lidy Chan.
Aww.
So the notes are everywhere. Thank you, Antoinette. But she's right though, we have our phones. So I don't want tonight events to end, but we have something to look forward to tomorrow. We're having so much fun. You know, we still have plenty of time. The night is still young. But I want to thank you everyone for being here tonight. Your presence makes this milestone even more special. We extend our deepest gratitude to our sponsors, partners, and supporters. Your commitment to MAWOCC fuels our mission. Let's enjoy the rest of the evening, make new connections, celebrate this achievement of the past decade, and get ready for an inspiring weekend ahead. Here's to the next 10 years of MAWOCC's incredible journey.
Thank you, Lidy, and thank you for introducing me to MAWOCC. I have missed 10 years of greatness and excellence, but I will be here for the next 10, okay? So with that, I'd like to thank everyone so much for being here tonight and for being here for the entire weekend. I know everyone's eager to get to networking, so let's have a good time and have a good night. Thank you again.
All right, here we go. That's it. Look at